What's up, nerds? So back in 2016, we bought our property that we live in now, and I've let it go to shit. And I've got, parts everywhere. I've got cars, and but I thought when we moved here that I was getting away from a development. I wasn't living in an HOA, and unfortunately, I moved into something worse. I moved into a township in Pennsylvania, which is like living in a township-sized HOA. There's code enforcement. There's still rules here. There's a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily agree with. I don't live in a housing development, so I don't understand why, even if I have a car parked in my yard that's not operable, if it's registered and has insurance on it, what's the deal? So anyway, I have gotten in trouble with my township again, just like it did back in 24, 22. And this time they're just assessing fines for my vehicles now, which is $50 a car for any car that's parked outside that they think is non-operable. In the meantime, my station wagon broke. My Neon that was my daily driver has broken. My minivan that I've had since 2015 and has had a plate and insurance on it since 2016 when I brought it home. It needs to be parked inside a building. My SRT4 that has a plate and insurance on it, a classic plate and insurance, needs to be parked inside a building. My other wood paneled station wagon needs to be parked inside a building. So I'm just going to get rid of stuff. I have a barn that I can park vehicles in. I have a 2-car garage that I haven't had a car in a very long time because I have a lot of stuff. I've talked about my mental health before. My mom passed away a few years ago, and when she did, a lot of her things just came to my house, and I put them either in my garage, in my shipping container, and I haven't messed with them. So that's part of the reason why I can't have a car in my garage, is because there's my mom's things in there. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not going to build an armored Neon and take it up to the township office. I'm not going to send them a strongly worded letter or anything. I don't want to hassle. Yesterday, while I'm trying to figure out what to do about all of this, my SRT4 broke. You can remember I looped my cooler line for my oil cooler last year when my brother's band used it for a music video, and that line ripped further up the chain. So I'm going to start with that. I got to fix this wagon, fix my Neon. I'm getting rid of 2 Omnis this weekend. My station wagon, my other station wagon is going to go away a week or so. My SRT4 is going to go to where the Omnis are going, and my buddy's going to put a motor in it for me because my back hurts and I'm not going to do it. I could do it, it's just going to take me a lot longer. And then I'm going to just start moving stuff around. I also need to do the cha-cha. I need to figure out how to get a title for a vehicle that doesn't have a title in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm a little scrambled today. I've not had a great start to my day, but I'm going to try to get started on this. And if the video quality changes, I'm using 2 or 3 different cameras. I'm going to get started on fixing this. That's where I'm going to get started. Man, I put my hair up and I look even more like my little brother. That's crazy. I have these 11-inch long pliers, and I'm going to try and reach in this little cubby to get this spring clip out, and then try and replace this piece of rubber hose. I'm not sure what size it is. I cannot remember if it is a 1/2-inch hose or a 5/8 hose, so I bought both. Hopefully one of them works. Let's get this bread, or whatever the kids are saying nowadays. Aha. Can you say terrible? Es el terrible. I don't speak Spanish very well. Well, there goes the clamp. There we go. Walk it down. Rocket barb. There we go. Oh yeah, that's way down, buddy. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna move the camera because this is I'm pretty sure this is gonna leak. So this would only leak when I had pressure before. All right, let's go. Well, let's get it flowing down the hill at least. I hate these little spring clamps, and the way I like dealing with them is not, but I'm gonna have to with this one, I think. Can you guess what size this is? I'm really stuck on this Dora the Explorer voice today. All right, so take this hose off. This is the original one. There's that. That one's off. Where I've clamped it up in there, which you can't really see, runs around the hot side charge pipe. Kind of sits along the K-frame, lifts back up to where I had it joined before. I'm not exactly pleased with this. It's not my best work by far, but the clutch is really starting to go in this, so the clutch is gonna have to come out, or the transmission is gonna have to come out, and when the transmission comes out, I'm gonna redo some of the lines. Like all the power steering lines gotta come out because they all suck. That line I'm gonna replace. I might replace the turbo when I finally pull all this out. It needs a timing belt. Like, I'm gonna gut it all. So this is not a permanent fixture of the car, but it is definitely gonna be more permanent than I want it to be. Anyway, let's fill it with some distilled water and coolant, see what we get. I'm sure this thing is dead empty of coolant. I've got like about 3 quarts distilled water and then half a gallon of 50/50 I made. Should be fine since it's coming up on spring. This is gonna suck. This thing gets hydrolocked trying to fill it. I hate these spring clamps. I know they have a purpose. Man, I'm not a big fan of them. So it's causing a bunch of air to come out of there by pouring that down in there. Now I'm just going to wait for this to warm up, see if it's leaking underneath, because before, as soon as it would start to make pressure, it would start leaking underneath. Hopefully it was just the one hose that was ripped. I did feel a hole in it before. Actually, there's the hole that was in it, so I got that done. Hopefully I fix this, and then we're going to work on, I got to clean up here. I've used this spot to work on stuff for a while, and it just has accumulated all of the things that I'm not currently messing with, because I'm really bad about just setting things down and walking away from them. It's a terrible habit to have. That's partially why I get in trouble with the township. So anyway, I'm gonna wait for this to warm up, pick up my stuff in the meantime, and then I'm gonna try and get my neon up here. And at 2 o'clock I gotta take my stuff to the dump, so it's in half an hour. So I might actually take the stuff to the dump first, and then later work on getting the neon up in here so I can try and fix it. I would like to drive that again. I haven't driven it since the fuel pump died last year. Our truck has been full of garbage for like, I don't know, a month, 2 months, and finally we got the stuff out of it, like all the real garbage. It was just like bags and bags and bags of trash. We got out of it, so it's gonna help when I want to take this up to Allentown this weekend, because the same guy that got my 2 neons that I had, I gave him last year, 2 years ago, he's going to take the 2 Omnis as well, make them not my problem anymore as well. I think now I'm going to try and get the neon into the yard. What I would like to do, I don't know if I could hook the truck back up to it because the yard's still soft right there, but I could unhook it from the dolly and push it off, and then I could probably tow it up because I have my tow strap. I gotta go clear a spot real quick. Well, with the help of my son, I got my neon in the yard and got my truck stuck right in the mud. The first memory I ever had is getting into a car accident. We got into a car accident in my mom's 87 Dodge Omni. My dad still was driving his 78 Subaru then. So we were on Hospital Drive. I just remember being so small. I looked over and I was looking at my brother and my head was on the back of the seat. Like I was that little. And I just remember sitting there just like kicking my feet and like, you know, listening to the radio or whatever. Like I couldn't see out the window very much. I don't think I was even in a booster seat. All of a sudden we just get this like, there's a big loud sound. We get a big push. And my dad being like, oh, God damn it. After we got the car back, my dad was like, I don't want this thing. We need to get a big car. So my mom got an Eagle Premier. It was 89 Eagle Premier. I remember buying it. I remember playing in the cars at the dealership and then getting yelled at. My dad loved going to flea markets and looking at stuff. And we were leaving, and there was just this hammered Dodge Omni. And I was like, Dad, look, a Dodge Omni. He was like, oh, yeah. He was like, oh, look at the back of it. He said it says GLH on there. And I was like, okay. He was like, you know what that means? I was like, no. He said, goes like hell. He's like, that car's pretty fast. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'd like to have one of those one day. But I mean, the thing was, for only being like 10 years old, it had fucked up paint. Like it looked like it came from like Arizona and was 30 years old. It was so bad. It looked a lot like the car that I got from Blair. I've wanted a Dodge Omni since then. I had to have a talk with myself and get real that even though I have all these memories and then ideas of things that I want to do, with these things that are free, I just, you know, needs labor for me to figure out parts for them and then labor to get them in a car, that I can't do it. You know, not until I have more free time. So, as the sage old life advice goes, it'd be like that sometimes. Me getting in trouble with the county, I think, is a blessing in disguise because it's going to just force my hand into making my house look better. So, you know, otherwise I would just continue to be overwhelmed and continue to not do anything. It sucks, but it's a start. Well, we've been on the road, I don't know, 40, 45-ish minutes, maybe an hour, like past York or something, and it's going okay. Ryan doesn't have a correct size strap for one of the front tires, so we have a car ratchet strapped to his tow dolly, so that's funny and fun. Yeah, These people just caught me holding a fucking whole ass DSLR up to my face. These fucking dumb hillbillies straight up cut Ryan off at like 70 miles an hour and he's fucking towing. Oh, they're probably going to the combination sheets and urgent care.
I think.
Down.
Yeah, with no pellet, 1.7, 4-speed, no options.
Yeah. Like there's no AC. It's a manual rack too, right?
Yep. Power steering, delete, like nothing.
Abandon all hope, ye who entered here. I don't know how much gas I left in this thing. Oh, it looks like half a tank. Ooh, it made... Worst cold start ever. This thing ain't ran in 2 years. Dude, I swear to God, that was so undramatic. But I drove it home like 7 miles. So it started, so that's good. So I can just drive it into the barn when I move all this stuff. So I might put this in last because that just fired me up. I want to fix this so fucking bad now. I haven't started it since I put it here, and that was in 2024. It was almost coming up on 2 years. I hit a Tundra with it. It's a 6G72, like the like all the V6 Dodge stuff from the 90s, and then also the Dodge or the Mitsubishi Stealth and the Mitsubishi Montero. It's a Mitsubishi engine with like a Dodge transmission and other stuff in it. It's kind of become like it's unfortunate to become a storage shed for me a little bit, but I have parts to fix it. Man, I want to fix this now. Oh man, that just hyped me up, dude. Something else I need to fix is this. The fuel pump died in it over the fall. So to even figure out if the block's good, it's mostly just water that came out of that. That sucks, man. I gotta change a fuel pump. And that sucks, but it's part of the game. Like if I'm gonna put an engine in it, it's gonna need a fuel pump. If I wanna do anything to it, it's gonna need a fuel pump. And I've put a gas tank in this car multiple times. I've put, had a steel tank and then a different tank and then a different tank. I've robbed the tank out of this, put it in other cars. This car has gone through a lot of fuel tanks. It currently has a 99 neon fuel tank that I took out of my white car. You see me take a fuel tank out of a neon. You jack it up, you take out 2 bolts, you undo some connections, you undo the filler neck, and you pull it out. And that's it. So that's what I'm gonna do real quick. So I spent all that time talking in a camera that wasn't recording. Typical me. So I have not that you can see it, but I loosened the filler neck, but I didn't get it off yet. On the filler neck, right, there's a clamp there, and then a clamp back there, and they're both, one clamps to the gas tank, one clamps to the hard filler neck piece, which you can still get these. I bought this one a few years ago from, maybe it was Spectre, like one of those, companies that resells everything or kind of makes everything or has access to everything. The other day, right, a while ago, my son was asking me, like, how did you get so good at doing this? And I was like, buddy, I bought my first neon in 2005 and then started reading about it then. I've done 20 years of research. Like Jake the dog once said, the first step into doing something is kind of sucking at it. And I did that a lot. I really sucked at doing everything car related for a while. And, you know, after years of practice, I still kind of suck at it. But at least I'm entertaining now. Can I just get this? Aha! I undid it. Okay. That's undone. That's a start. I can see fumes, so when you're doing stuff like this, be careful, because even the fumes are highly flammable. You don't really want to use your impact guns around this, and I'm not gonna anymore after this. It's really dangerous. I'm not even joking. You can accidentally start a very big fire with just fumes. In fact, that's what ignites.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Most cars are not shaped like this. Come on, buddy. There we go. Are you gonna... It's gonna try and empty the fucking tank through there. God damn it. Anyway. Oh, shit. Kind of miss it when the road was miserable to drive down, because nobody would drive down it then. All right, this ain't really working. Yeah, spin it. Oh, yeah, it's fine. By the way, hitting a hammer with a hammer, guaranteed bad time. Oh, and you know, don't lean your gas tanks up against your garage. All right, there's that. This is what we are after. Yeah, it looks... Well, the gas is coming out clear, so that's a good sign. What your fuel pump's gonna look like after 20 years. We are under my barn awning right now, and I've got my fuel pump canister here, and I also have the, I guess, fuel pump repair kit. I don't know what you would really call it. It's a TI Automotive fuel pump, which TI Automotive is who bought what's that company? Walboro. And this is a whole replacement thing for a Neon. So everything I'm doing here, don't do. I didn't read the directions at all, and there's actually the correct tool included with this whole kit that helps you take apart the fuel pump canister. And I instead chose to just dig at this thing with my mini screwdriver. I risked breaking the whole thing. I mean, I got it done without the correct tools, but the correct tools are included. Like, you don't have to be dumb like me. You can just do things the right way. That just straight up worked. You know, that just absolutely worked. I am worried that I hit this piece with a hammer yesterday and it dented it. Well, it just like, yeah, kind of messed that up. Depress tab to remove. I want to see if I have another 49 psi one in my garage real quick. He usually just answers. I usually just answer him.
What's up, Jerry?
Hey, buddy. Quick question for you.
I have to answer.
How bad will a first gen run with a 58 psi regulator?
It shouldn't run terrible.
Okay, because
Yeah, it shouldn't really run that bad.
well, I'm putting a 255 in my the canister I have for the NYG, and I accidentally smacked the 49 regulator with a hammer.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No, 58 shouldn't be too bad on it, really. It might just be a little fat, but that's about it.
Yeah, like I figure the PCM should lean it out enough.
Yeah, at 10 psi, it shouldn't really care that much.
Oh, you know what? I think you can just push this tab down and twist it. Let me. Yep. There, that's out. Here's the thing about these pressure regulators. They look exactly the same, except this says nothing on it, and this says 58 on it. So that's good. Now the difference between them is the man, that's so easy. Let's take you for the tour real quick. But so the bolt I had for it is stripped. All the extra bolts I had weren't the right thread pitch, but I mean the nut plate was stripped anyway, so now it's got a M8 by 1.25 in there with a nut on the back side of it, and then the of course factory bolt right there. Well, let's move on to getting the filler neck reattached. Maybe that'll work. This filler neck is always filled like garbage, so who knows. This one's free. All right, tube down. Hits the bottom. Pull down. There, it's flowing. You can't hear it, but I can. So because it's not a very big tube, this is going to take a while. But now I want to know what got in the other tube. So when you put a new fuel pump in a car, or like when you have the whole canister out and you empty it, it needs about 4 gallons before it'll really start. So hopefully this is going to be enough. I found my funnel, but apparently it's cracked. So whatever, I'm going to leave this to it for a little bit. Alright, so before I get very far, let's see if we hear fuel pump sounds. Oh. Heard it. You know what, I'm just gonna... Oh, I gotta make sure I'm not in gear, otherwise that would be a catastrophe. Oh, I was in gear. Car would have shot off down the hill. It runs. Now I gotta put water in it. Okay, so this had rusty coolant in it because I had ran regular tap water in it, and that's my fault. So I'm gonna run some total system flush in it. Also, at the same time, I am rolling the dice. I left straight up water in this thing over the winter. There was a little bit of coolant in it, but not much. But it was mostly just water. So I am gonna roll the dice and hope that I didn't crack the block somewhere and that it was up high enough. But I don't actually know if it was or not. So there. You'll notice I got the jack under the right front of the car, which makes, between this and the heater core, makes that the higher point. Usually make it a little easier to fill, but it's acting up a little bit. Although maybe that's it. Maybe the only overflow situation was not working out the best. As you can see, I'm gonna go clean this out here in a little bit. So what I'm worried about is the block being cracked or the head gasket being cracked. Now the oil looks aerated because it's low, but it doesn't look like there's water in it. Unfortunately, there is, it seems to be a cylinder worth of pressure coming through every pulse. The transmission leaks, so I gotta put fluid in it. So it starts, it runs, it idles, but the transmission's making a racket because there's not a lot of fluid in it. So these transmissions used to use a Mopar manual transmission fluid. They don't make it anymore. When New Venture Gear made transmissions for turbo Dodges, they spec 10W30 oil. So sometimes people use 10W30 Mobil 1 high mileage 10W30 oil. Sometimes they'll use Pennzoil Synchromesh, which also works really well. I've always used Pennzoil Synchromesh. I've never had a problem with it. I don't have any. That's my only problem, and it's getting hard to find. Any Synchromesh oil will generally work. I'm gonna run to Advance, I guess, and try to find some. So wish me luck. Imagine that, you know, they had my Pennzoil Synchromesh that I really wanted. They also had this weirdo generic coolant system return that I think is gonna work. So I'm gonna give this a shot and try and put it in the car somewhere, because I broke the stock one, and you can order them, I just never did. So let's get back to the house. I kind of read the directions. Basically, it can mount either like this, kind of like a hospital jug, or it can mount like this. It comes with this neat little bracket where you put it in here, and then you can, you know, hammer it over and use it to mount it. It comes with some screws and some hardware. What I put in here first was a bunch of Pennzoil cleaning stuff, and then a bunch of distilled water. I've got distilled water in the overflow tank, and I'm hoping that it'll work itself out. I want to redo this eventually if I keep this thing, but it kind of looks like it would work. I don't hate it. I don't immediately hate it. How about this at Walmart forever ago? You're supposed to stick your finger in there, feel around for fluid. If it comes up dry, you need to add fluid, and it is empty. It's a first really nice day, so There's people ootin' a boot right now. You really feel this based off of vibes. I've never really seen it this low. That's that ain't good. Just watering my transmission, you know. I still can't feel any. Ooh, I felt a little oil. Might need just a little more. It just hit the spot. Hit 2.3 quart transmission, just took a quart and a half. Just about, so means it had a quart in there. I think I fixed my neon. I flushed the coolant. I did a 30-mile drive. I flushed it again, flushed it again. I put like 10 gallons of water through it to flush it. And then I filled it with distilled water and coolant again. It seemed to have survived the, don't go up there. Don't go up there. It seems to have survived the winter with like half a block full of water. So that's cool. You know, tough ass neon, I guess. And I mean like single digit weather down here. I think it got to negatives at some point. Like we're in South Pennsylvania. It doesn't get as cold as like the Midwest or Alaska or anything like that, but it gets chilly here. Oh, and I changed the radiator cap. I believe that's why it was pushing coolant. I changed the radiator cap today. I did like a 10-mile test drive. You know, I didn't go that far. I did like a 25-minute 10-mile drive, and it seems to be okay. So hopefully it stays okay. So anyway, should I drive it to work tomorrow? That's the part that's freaking me out. I haven't driven it to work, and I don't want to drive it and get stranded. Although I have put about 40 miles on it so far, and that's half of one of my drives to work. It's got a full tank of gas. Maybe I'll just drive it to work tomorrow and see what happens. So one last update on the neon, I guess. I put about 363 miles on it so far. About, you know, I did the math on it. I did one full tank of fuel. It calculated to about 28.5 miles per gallon. It was getting 33. I'm equating some of that to the 58 PSI regulator and also me beating the tar out of it a little bit because I wanted to find out if it was going to break. I did a couple short trips in it, like short trip to Finksburg, short trip to Westminster, and then I did my normal commute route with like some 80-mile-per-hour trips in there. So it's not great. It's not what I wanted it to be. I finally aired the tires up yesterday. Who's calling me? Oh, my Aunt Alice. Hello? Hey, how are you? So anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm mentally ill. I got problems, but I'm working on it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and let's see where this goes.